I'm Nicole Karen, this is Crash Course World History, and today we're going to travel to the United Kingdom to learn about Jack. No, not that kind of Jack. Jennifer! Yes! Jack the Ripper, a real lady killer. No, seriously, he killed ladies. So, Jack the Ripper was a serial killer, which makes him really fascinating. But as you can see from our lovely whiteboard drawing, there's a lot about Jack that we don't know. What makes Jack even more interesting than just being a serial killer is the fact that no one, aside from his victims, knows what he looks like. So he could look like this, or possibly even this, but probably not. So, we don't even know if Jack is this serial killer's real name. Jack the Ripper was active, for lack of a better term, in 1888. There were 5 victims, all of them prostitutes, and it's very possible that there were more. The victims' bodies were mutilated, which told the investigators that Jack had at least some knowledge of human anatomy. But we don't know if he was a med student, a doctor, or some other kind of job. But either way, nice real-life application, sir. Miss Karam, why are you complimenting him? He killed people. Oh, me from the past. I know he killed people. I'm the one teaching you. In the future, you'll appreciate sarcasm. In fact, you'll become fluent in it. Anyways, odds are there were more than 5 victims. To learn more about that, let's turn to the thought bubble.
So before we consider the Ripper, we have to understand the larger context. During this time, there were 11 Whitechapel murders. These were all unsolved murders of 11 young women. While we are sure that at least 5 of them were murdered by Jack, different MOs were present in these murders. 7 of the victims were found with their throats cut, and in all but 2, there was abdominal mutilation. In some cases, bodily organs such as the uterus, kidney, and heart were taken. These murders occurred over the course of 2 years. A reinforcement team was recruited to aid Detective Inspector Edmund Reed. No one was convicted of any of these crimes, and these cases still remain unsolved. Jack goes down in history as an infamous serial killer that haunts Whitechapel still today. Talk about a mystery man.
I hear he was a fan of nicknames. So much so that he decided to give himself one.
Let's talk about how he got his infamous name. His grotesque name was a part in a popular appeal to this case. What most people don't know is that Jackie gave himself the name. In 1888, a letter was written that was given to the Metropolitan Police. The letter began with "Dear Boss" and had sentences like, "I am down on whores and I shan't quit ripping them until I get buckled." At the end, he signed the letter with the infamous name, Jack the Ripper. Despite the awful spelling and grammar, Jack soon began writing messages wherever he wanted to. There was a wall that had, "The Jews are men that will not be blamed for nothing." This was signed by yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Then Jack wrote a letter to Chairman George Lusk that was signed, "Catch me if you can, Mr. Lusk." What was so odd about this letter was that it was wrapped around half a kidney. The other half was eaten and fried by Jack, and he said it was very nice. Nothing like a nice home-cooked meal, huh, Jack?
What? It's time for the open letter already? Okay.
An open letter to the machete. Oh, but first, let's check the secret compartment for the day. Oh look, it's a beanie made to look like a ski mask. The ski mask, one of the many poster children of Halloween, along with screaming children, 99-cent fake fangs, and our friend, the machete. However, our friend never wanted that sort of publicity. Oh machete, how misunderstood of a tool you have become. You're like the awkward hipster loner of the tool/weapon realm. You're just like, am I a large knife or a small sword? You're so incredibly mistaken by the general population, as your main function used to be known for cutting up stalks of plants or cutting up large amounts of food, but because of Halloween and the 10-year-old Jasons and Michaels running around and frightening their sisters, you're known to the general population as a blood-soaked mass murder weapon. There, machete. We know machetes don't kill people. Crazies that wield you kill people. Best wishes, Madigan Dial.
So, what we can take away from the story of Jack the Ripper is that when something horrible happens, society as a whole tends to pay attention to the crime. We glorify the criminal, but not the victims. What they and their families went through doesn't really cross our minds. The victims aren't interesting, but the inner workings of a serial killer's mind, that is. We made a whole crash course about Jack the Ripper, and his name and crime are famous. But the only things his victims are famous for is for being killed by him and for being prostitutes. In order to become a more peaceful and compassionate society, we need to stop focusing on the heinous things that happen and think about who they happen to.
Crash Course World History is directed by yours truly, Jennifer Tran. The show is written by Nicole Karam, Madigan Dial, and Jess Mitchell, and music is credited to Madigan Dial. And as they say in my hometown, don't forget to be awesome.